Are you planning to do some planting this fall to grow some winter vegetables or fall harvest vegetables? Well, here's something that you should use as a guide, something a little more reliable than just our estimated first frost dates and the weather, and that is soil temperature. So the soil temperature is going to stay a lot more stable as ambient air temperature varies with the weather and can change from day to day or even hour to hour. Soil temperature stays a lot more stable for days and weeks, and that can tell you a lot about whether or not your plants are going to be able to grow, whether the seeds can germinate, whether the roots are going to stay warm enough and be able to access what's in the ground. So it's really easy to take. You can use any kind of probe style thermometer. I prefer a digital just because it gives you a good read, and basically you're just going to sink it right down to the depth of your seed or where your root ball would be. So if you've got like a 4-inch pot, you're going to want to stick that down further into the ground. You'll see that the further down you go, generally the warmer it is, but that's going to depend on the time of year. We're still getting a lot of sun and some warm days, so the surface of our soil is still pretty warm too, and may even be warmer than deeper down. But cool season crops can actually survive and continue to grow, even though it may be slower than what you're used to during the summer. They can continue to grow in very low soil temperatures, down to even 45, some of them down to even 35 or even close to freezing. So it can tell you a lot about the time and opportunity that you have left in your garden. Now, keep in mind that if you have frost-sensitive plants, like I have a zucchini growing here, you can't change the frost sensitivity of this, even though the soil temperature may be warm enough for it to grow. So you're still going to need to cover anything that's frost sensitive. Fall and going into winter are generally not the great time to be planting frost sensitive plants, but you have a lot of plant options that you can grow during the fall and winter. And those are things like your cool season crops, your cole crops, your brassicas, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, lettuce, spinach, radishes, carrots. There's so many options there that will continue to grow if they've got the soil temperature to do it. And where we're finding that weather, frost dates, things like that are less and less reliable because, the world is changing. Most of us are warming. If you go with a guide like this, it can tell you more about it and help you keep your garden going for longer as we stop looking solely on those frost dates. Look at the other factors at play. Soil temperature is one of them. It's a great one, a really stable one, and I encourage you all to look more at it and use it. Take it a few times, take it once a week, keep a journal. Also track down, if you're going to keep a journal, what's the air temperature and what's the weather like, and then in years to come you can compare how those correlated and what you actually had left for growing time. So I hope this is something that you'll all incorporate in your gardens, and I hope it guides you into getting even more out of your gardens for much more time of the year.